y'all, it's Mary Payne, and welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday, and that means we're going to talk about 90 Days Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 16, One Crazy Summer. And this is a special episode because I did a crossover recap with my friends Dylan and Pat and Ruby from Bad TV. You know those guys. I love them so much. And so we just went through these couples on this finale, and we don't always agree, but, we can agree to disagree on lots of things. I love these guys so much. Make sure you're giving them a follow. Make sure you're listening to their podcast. They cover tons of stuff, like they're going to be covering Golden Bachelor. They cover a lot of Below Deck. And of course, they're covering these shows as well. So make sure you give them a follow, and I hope you like it. And here we go. Here's the recap.
We are back. It is another brand spanking new episode of Bad Television. That's long for Bad TV. I'm Dylan. I'm settled up next to Patrick.
Great to be here.
Hickey. And joining us from parts unknown, we missed her last week, but I don't think we released an episode last week.
No, our producer deleted our episode.
Our producer came in here, fucked up on Firehouse subs, and he deleted the episodes and has zero remorse. The man is walking around the streets of Los Angeles, probably hopped up on more submarine sandwiches, but it's good because Ruby, my baby sister Ruby, Hudson Yards, Statue of Liberty, fresh bagels with a crispy crust and soft inside is here as well. Hey, Rubes.
Hi, Dale. How are you?
Good. Buried the lead, though, because today we are joined by a fan fave, our fave, none other than Mary Payne of Pink Shade. How are you?
Hey, fan fave is probably a stretch, but
it's not.
I'll take it.
No.
I'll take it.
It's not a stretch at all. You are I think you're encyclopedic about this show. So I think it's necessary to have you on right now because, to be quite honest, I'm losing a little bit of steam. I'm reinvigorated now that the four of us are together.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loving this. I'm loving Before the 90 Days, and I'm excited that it's like coming to an end. We're going to get a reunion. There's a pregnancy scare that doesn't happen very often. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mary, I have to ask you this. Overall, I think Dylan disagrees with me. I think Ruby and I are on the same page. I thought this was an amazing season of Before the 90 Day, this incarnation of this series. Just great casting. And the stories moved really quick. They didn't get bogged down in the same thing. Well, a couple of them did. But typically with 90 Day, I find that producers, they find one storyline with a couple and they just hammer you over the head with it, right? But this one seemed to have enough gusto to it that it moved really quickly. What do you think?
I agree with that, and I liked the cast that we got here. Do you think that they cast Tyree and they were all excited about it, and they realized day one, oh, this guy's got nothing. Let's give a call up to Jasmine and Gino and see what they're doing.
Yeah,
Blue
maybe.
Gino over there.
Look at you, tinfoil cap.
No, MP. I brought that up on the first episode. It didn't even seem like Jasmine and Gino were on the same show as the rest of the couples.
Rubes, is this revisionist history? Did he bring that up the first time?
I was about to say my mind is blown because that feels really accurate. So, Pat, sorry if I completely ignored you and said you're wrong. But both of you seem right.
Yeah.
I agree with you, MP. That's a very astute observation. Yes.
Well, and also, even if he didn't, if the storyline was going nowhere, one of the first things they had to have filmed was him ukulele rapping in the park in Stockton, California. So right there, they have to be thinking, regardless of where this goes, it might be too sad to keep going with it.
Oh, that never stops the producers of 90
That's a good point.
MP, do you remember, this is the amazing thing. So with Tyree, there could have been, I forget who was the girl. It wasn't Christian from, who was he
Carmela.
Carmela. Carmela could have panned out. We've seen this in past seasons of 90 Day where you're like, oh, this guy's been talking to a bot or, some dudes in Russia. Then you've come to find out it is a girl that really exists. Now, her intentions may have been questionable, but the person does exist. So you never know with Tyree. But
He's talking to Nev Schulman.
Right. Catfish. I got it. Yeah.
But anyway, great season.
So should we go around the horn and give our passports? Mary Payne, we usually give a 1 to 100 passport score on a per episode basis.
Okay. Explain to me.
I'll give you an example right now. I'll show you how it's done.
Okay.
This episode was fantastic. And I'm struggling a little bit, but I'll pick it. I'll show you how it's done right now.
Give her a good example.
Okay, so this is how you do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so great episode, right? I loved that we are tying things up because, as I mentioned, I'm sick of it. So these are diseased people. We've talked about this damn near every season we do. We ask, what kind of disease is this? This episode was filled with mentally ill people, not just Cleo, all of them, trying to somehow round peg, square hole their way into staying together. It made no sense at all, but it was lovely to watch all of these relationships implode, explode, and then come back together. I would give it 92 passports.
92 passports. Well, that's how it's done, MP.
Okay, so the passports are like sometimes if people say how many Aviva legs.
1 out of 100.
Yeah, how many Aviva
like,
legs is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many Aviva legs? I get 2 Aviva legs or 2.5, depending on how many legs Aviva has.
Stars, squishy tomatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, out of 100, I'm going to give this particular episode. I'm going to go 97. I'm going to go 97. I thought it was a great episode. I did. I think they wrapped it up. I think that we had some change of hearts. Like Statler and Dempsey had a change of heart.
Manny.
Amanda all of a sudden grew a heart. You know, we got to see Jasmine freak out in a dirt pile in his pink suit. I mean, it's TV gold.
What more can you ask for?
Nicola might actually have sex. I mean,
we'll see. Rubes, passports.
I apologize if I'm really loud now.
Nope,
No,
fine.
I just grabbed my mic. Okay. I agree with MP. I would go 97. It was a really strong A. They left out the uncomfortably depressing shit, and we got a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah.
And like, it was only the fun sad. Like, there was no
sad.
who had strokes. Like, it was like good. I'm excited for the live audience.
Oh
Next
my
week.
gosh.
I think it was a really good wrap up. I don't recall them doing it this well before. Maybe they always do it this well, but I thought that it was a great way to end the season. I loved every single couple, and TV Gold. Agreed.
97 passports, you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Pat.
All right. I'm going to focus in on one couple in particular, Christian and Cleo. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost wept a tear when they parted ways.
Oh my God! Were you drinking?
I thought this guy was a gaslighting, wannabe on TV jerk, and then at the tail end of this, they got me believing that this couple could actually possibly work at the tail end. Who knows? I'm losing my mind.
Are you
but
on
that's what great television
fucking poppers? Like, what is going on with you?
He completely fooled me. All right, so he's had some missteps while he was in England, okay? But at the very end, I was buying what he was selling. I may be delusional. 98 passports.
Now, that is not how it's done. He got very specific, honed in on one couple, damn near almost jumped us into our recap of their relationship. That is not how it's done.
I already said at the top of the show that I've loved this season. All of it. So I technically gave my general thoughts anyway.
MP, do you want to kick the recap off?
Yeah, I wanted to say something really quickly about that live audience thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is the host of a podcast in New York, and she got invited to sit in that audience through a friend, and she sent me a text about it, and I was like, well, what are you doing? I could be there tomorrow. I'd like to come. She didn't invite me. I just invited myself.
Right.
So
right.
She was like, let me see what I can do. But it's like 2 full 9-hour days, right? A Friday and a Saturday. Like, you got to be there the whole time. I was like,
yeah, it's
Saturday,
like jury
Saturday.
duty. Yeah.
Yeah, like a whole thing. And but then she got excited because she was excited, and she posted in a Facebook group of a friend of ours, posted it in that person's podcaster's Facebook group, like, you won't believe this, they're doing a live thing and I got invited. I'm so excited. I won't be able to tell you anything, obviously, but I'm excited. Within 1 hour, she got a phone call and was like, nope, you may not come now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Big brother
TLC saw that she did that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you,
sink ships.
If you're ever invited to one of these live reunions, say no. Don't go.
We went to Love is Blind this season. We got invited.
I heard.
We sat in the bomb shelter for 4 hours while they tried to get it up on the internet.
Yeah, and they made us do dances to Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So
How mad was Vanessa Lachey?
She was cool with it. I think once they realized that the technology wasn't going to work and they were just going to do it live and record it and post it the next day, they seemed to, at least that's what they were showing us.
The pseudo celebrities that were pissed off. Like Zach was
furious.
Yeah, he was talking to his team on his phone. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but it was a nightmare.
Well, sorry about that. When you said the live thing, I was like, I do know a girl that got invited, but then she got excited and posted about it. And then they called her up and were like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to come. And now you're banned for life.
It's a PSA. Yeah, and it is tragic.
It is. It's PSA. Don't do it. All right. So we're going to start off this recap with Statler and Dempsey, my favorite law firm, Statler and Dempsey and Sons.
Yeah.
So Statler is wandering around looking for Dempsey in this castle in Scotland. And she's like, oh, so she finds her. And Dempsey's just like hopping over the bed, like ninja style, packing her shit up. And Dempsey's like, we're in this relationship because we're on the same page. You know, all of a sudden you're like, you can't be in a relationship with me because I want to have kids and we're not on the same page. And Statler's like, by the way, like we both said we were never sure if we wanted to have kids. And now she's saying one thing, but she's mad at me because I'm saying the opposite. Like, she never told me she absolutely wanted kids. And I never said I absolutely didn't. So I don't know why she just like freaked out over our breakfast, right? Then Statler goes to the bathroom and cries. Dempsey has a change of heart, tries to get her out of the bathroom.
Well,
but we know Statler has IBS. So she's like, don't come in here. Don't come in here.
Yeah, she was taking a shit. Yeah.
She was having a private moment in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Statler comes out and Dempsey's like, I'm sorry. Like, this was the fastest fight ever. It was like less than 4 minutes. She was like, I'm sorry. I just got overwhelmed. And Statler's like, oh, my anxiety's through the roof. You know, I just had to go to the bathroom. And she says, I just can't imagine having a kid, but maybe in a couple of years I will. Also, there are 33 and 29. They're young.
They are.
Just have some fun. Have some fun. You don't have to decide right now.
True, MP, but I have lots of thoughts on this because I have a lot of guy friends that are total jerks that fed this kind of BS to girls that they were dating and then dragged it along for 3 years. And when a guy says he doesn't want kids or he says, I'll think about it, I just think that's gaslighting. I think they probably don't want kids or they don't want kids with that person, and it wastes their time.
Yeah, Rubes, do you think Demps is a gaslighter? Or stats.
Yeah, but also not in this regard. And also I think that kids are weird and tough. And a lot of people feel kind of like, I don't know, which is weird because I think when you contrast it with apparently who Dempsey became during this breakfast, when she was like, I just want kids and it's a deal breaker and it's gonna be my whole life and I'm not going to be happy if I don't. Like, that's totally fine. But I don't think Statler, by not feeling that way, it means that she's like, fucking gross ass, yucky kids, never for me.
Right.
You know? You can be in the middle.
I think they both do it to each other. And Statler has almost a monopoly on this, but Dempsey and her both pull the wool over the other person, rip it off, and apologize in brief moments that you're just like, what is going on with these two? Like, Dempsey has been freaked out by the whole U-Haul lesbian thing, says you can move in. Then the next day she wakes up and she's apprehensive about it once again. And these two have been really quite exhausting to me because Statler is a woman eater. It's never going to work. It's just not going to work. Dempsey's going to get spit up, eat up and spit shit out. What?
Spit out. I'm going to say something controversial here. Stats scares me. I think she could end up being a serial killer someday. There's something. She scares me, Stats. She's very intense. She's very focused. I love those 48 hours, the serial killer murders thing. She mimics a lot of behaviors of serial killers.
You could see her like processing a body and then eating a hungry man.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Also, MP, I brought this up to my co-hosts a million times. I brought this up to my co-hosts a lot, but first time you heard it. These people are on Skype for 20 hours a week with each other for months. What the hell do they talk about? Like, just to talk about the other couples for a second. All right, Stats and Demps were definitely not on the same page as far as kids. That seems like that should be something kind of worked out if you're going to be talking about moving in with each other and having a future. Misha and Nicola, he's a controlling, guarded jerk. She didn't pick up on any of those things. Like all that just comes right. I'm saying, what did they talk about for all these months on those Skypes anyway?
Yeah.
Well, you think about Mary and Brandan on The Other Way, and they were on the phone 24 hours a day. They never hung up the phone ever. They watched each other poop. They watched each other masturbate. They watched each other sleep. They watched each other have family meetings. They did every single thing on the phone 24/7. They never put it down. And that's just
it's kid shit.
That is sickness. That is
and
sickness.
Or mental illness. Yeah, exactly.
So back to Statler and Dempsey. Okay, so they make up, and Statler's like, "Oh, I can be a bitch, but I just can't imagine my life without you." And she's like, hopefully our life aligns one day when we want it to," which is sort of what you're saying. She's like, maybe when you want to have kids, maybe I'll be ready, but maybe I won't, and I would have taken over your caravan by then. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just said they don't need to be so stressed about this kid issue. This is the first time they've ever been together in person. They just started dating. Like, this is like years down the road. So
Right.
they leave the castle, and Statler's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm moody." And Dempsey, "You're so perfect," and all this. And she's just like, "I'm going to wear your skin. I love you so much." So they ride back at the caravan and chat. And Statler says, "When am I going to see you next?" And you said it's too fast. And Dempsey goes, "I changed my mind. You can move in with me if you want. I want you here. Can you adjust to farm life?" And she's like, "Well, there's changes that need to be made here, but I want to be here with you." Changes like hot water, a toilet, heat and air. Yeah. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Who are you, Mariah Carey? What the fuck, Statler?
All right, so what happens here with Demps? Did she just have a little too much vino? Because it seems like the next morning it might have changed a little bit, or she gets second guesses her decision to invite Stats to move in with her. I've done these stupid things where I'm like really happy, and then I'm like, "Hey, we should move in with each other," and then I'm sober the next day, and I'm like, "Oh, that guy shouldn't have said that."
Vicodin's a hell of a drug.
I think she still wants it. I think she still wants it.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
I agree. I think
what
she's
caused
addicted to the whiplash?
Yeah. Yeah.
What caused the 180 though? Was it all the getting along and staying in that castle? Because it seemed like they bumped heads quite a bit, and then to come back to the farmhouse and then just make this realization that now would be a good time to decide to have a person that you've been fighting with all day to move in with you.
Patrick, it's mental illness.
Oh,
it's because she's leaving.
Yeah, it was Stats' impending departure that Dempsey was just like, fuck. What am I supposed to do? And then I think that we see it very clearly that Statler is like, I don't think she means it when she's at the airport and she's like, I think that I'm going to get on this plane and then you're going to break up with me. So please don't do that. And she probably will. She should. She absolutely should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. So Statler says, "Yeah, I'm going to miss my Wi-Fi, my cell service, a hot shower. These are huge sacrifices. So I do hope Dempsey is in 1,000,000% if I'm going to do that." And then, they talk the next day. The plan is to come back in 4 weeks and move in together. And like she says, "I'm worried it will end up like my ex. I was planning to move in with my ex and was packed and ready to go. And then she called me from England and told me not to come." So Dempsey tells Statler, like, "I worry that you won't be happy when you come here because of the toilet and your IBS and everything. And if we have to fight, and you got to like go across the parking lot to the bathroom." And Dempsey's like, "It's going to be hard. I'm not going to be able to change this whole lifestyle for you right away. So I sure hope we're making the right decision." Yeah. And then in the airport, they do a lot of sappy, smoochy. And then they say, "Creature comforts are nothing if I don't have you."
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Statler says Dempsey gives her unconditional love. But I wonder now if the opposite is true, right? So Statler was leaving, so she feels like, "Oh, I should get her to tell her she can move in so she'll come back." But then once she leaves and she kind of gets back into her routine, she'll be like, "Yeah, she really probably doesn't need to come back."
Should we do like a fun little futures bet on all of these after we're done?
I say we do it at the tail end. I do want to back up for 1 second. The morning after, they're cuddling and they're having a little cuddle party, and they don't want it to ever end. Stop cuddling. And I was thinking while I was watching the scene, boy, I kind of miss those days. I love my wife. I've been with her for 10 years. but I did kind of get a little jealous of the whole, new couple stuff where like, yeah, I want to be glued to this person forever. I want to kind of crawl inside their body. And then 10 years later, you're asking yourself, does this person ever shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Yeah, but you still have those moments.
Oh, yes, of course. This is one of the reasons I don't think Stats and Demps, I don't think they...
Are you okay?
What's that?
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think Demps is more emotionally mature than Stats. And, this is when all the good sex is happening, everything. But I think once that wears off and some of the craziness of the serial killer, I think there may be trouble in River City.
Well, can we do, are they going to stay together at the end of the couples?
Ask MP.
Yeah, we can do it. Do you want to do the end of each couple or at the end of the episode?
Yeah, let's do each couple. I don't think there's a chance, a snowball's chance in
anywhere,
be it a cold or hot climate, that these two are going to be together.
I agree. I don't see any chance of it. And I think that Statler's pretty active on like going live on TikTok and saying stuff. I don't think she's ever said if they're together or apart, but it seems like she sort of hates Dempsey's friends and hates this and hates that. Wow. And so it probably seems like they're probably not together.
Rubes, what do you think?
Definitely not. I was going to say, and then also the IBS. There's no way.
Oh, a relationship can't endure a bad case of IBS. Huh?
Do people with IBS need to fall in love with others?
Yeah, there's a whole dating website for it.
I mean, maybe, but you at the very least need a toilet.
You need to be able to go to poop if you have to poop.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to run across a parking lot in a panic that you're going to poop your pants.
I
don't think
bathroom
it's
right there.
I would like
I don't think it's like herpes, but I think you need to have a place to poop. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I want to remind all my colleagues there is such a thing as TV relationships. So as long as they keep hammering checks from 90 Day, these relationships could continue just based on that. Just throwing that out.
Well, let's get to one who I don't know if they can endure really any kind of boon to their relationship, and that is Riley and Violet.
Oh my God.
Riley is home from Vietnam, and surprising to literally no one, he gets some pretty angry texts from Violet. We have been talking about, it was actually Ruby's intellectual property, that she is a kingpin of sorts, a queen pin of probably a ring of men that she either sends out into the streets or they're just for her. But I don't think that I don't know what Violet's doing with Riley. I don't think that she really gives a shit about him. I think that she just likes the control over him. So she's kind of like reeling him back in by calling him a little bitch all the way from Vietnam.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Let me just say this about Riley. All right, so we're back at home with him next to the things that actually like him, which is, I know they're inanimate objects, but booze and jazz records.
Oh, don't forget those stogies.
That's right. Oh, yeah, cigars. Yeah. By the way, MP, I'm curious what your thoughts on Riley. Two things can be true at once. I think they're both not really good people for different reasons. Riley, in my mind, I feel or I sense a guy who's been single too long, and then they start getting in those guy habits. And of course, he's mentioned it. He's a pretty hurt guy, been hurt. But you wonder what started first. Was he a controlling jerk, and then women kind of didn't take to him, or was he a nice guy and then got shit on so much?
Yeah, because Ruby's thought that he was a monster the entire season.
I do think that he's a monster, and I think he like specifically seeks out Asian women because they're more demure, and like he wants a wife that's gonna like literally be his bitch. And my other question is, why couldn't he find someone in Georgia to do that? Nobody in America.
We'll get to Tiffany in a second. That is the love story right there. But MP.
That's the basis of the show. I mean, if we don't have that question, we don't have a show. You always wonder, like, no, you can't set your Tinder to the Tri-County area and find somebody within 30 miles. Like, I've never understood it at all. But I think that there's a couple of things true about Riley. I think everything that we're saying here is true. I think he's a hurt person. I think he acts like a jerk. I think he met his match in Violet and that she was worse than him. And I think he thought it was going to be cutesy, like we're fun and we have funny jokes, but wasn't so fun, you know, I don't know. I don't think he's as awful as a lot of people do. I was just sort of like, he just seems like every other sex tourist that go, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem any different than any of these other guys.
What do you think Violet's motivations are with this?
I think he thought, oh my gosh, immediate family. He thought in his mind, Violet and her daughters are going to come over. We might have a kid. And then here's my ready built family. Isn't it going to be wonderful and happy? And she'll stay home and I'll come home every day from work and I'll have a home cooked meal and she'll walk my dog and want to be great.
Yeah. And she'll love jazz music too.
And I won't die alone.
And I won't die alone.
Right.
I'll have what do you think my meals for me because I'm hungry.
What do you think Violet's motivations are? Sorry.
His what is?
Violet's motivation.
Oh, here's the thing. I don't know. I think that she was like, oh, you're actually coming here? I think that she didn't actually think that was going to happen. And then with the TV crew, here and there, she made herself real scarce. But with this whole, like at the end, when we get this like, raw, like this pregnancy thing, I was talking to Jake of Reality Gaze about this. And I said, before you found this out, did you think they had ever had sex? And he said, not only that, he didn't think I said, well, I'd seen them like one time hold hands, but I really was thinking when they first checked into that hotel day one, when they said, how many keys do you want? He kind of gave her a look like, and she was like, oh no, we don't do that in this country, just the one key. I thought, oh, that they've talked about it. And when production goes down, she's coming over. Right. That's what I was thinking. And I was thinking it was going on the whole time, but apparently just the once.
I didn't see them kiss. Like, so they really did one over on production because I thought they had zero chemistry. I was like, when he kept throwing his like efforts back into it, I'm like, why are you still calling her while you're there? Just go be a tourist. Because it's clearly she hates you.
Well, again, to no one's surprise, the texts turned manic and bipolar.
I have them transcribed.
Oh yeah. Let's hear it.
First text. I don't ever want to see you again.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't do the voice.
Oh, right. And then I would never do that.
Okay.
Then she wrote, I want you to be my husband. And then it gets weird. She says, I want to eat your face off.
Yeah.
And then she says, will you be the father of my children?
Yeah.
Truly disturbing text.
Really disturbing text. She texted his dad, too. She said, I'm pregnant with your child. But Tiffany is over, or Riley is over at Tiffany's. These two, I'm sure Tiffany, I don't know, she's either a fiercely independent asexual woman who doesn't need a man, or she has a man or something. I don't know what's going on, but Riley and her seem like
brother and sister.
No, I think there could be some love between them that could be romantic.
Did we meet her guy? Remember?
Did we meet her guy?
Didn't they go to
on
some
the
sort
side
of like
of the
outdoor
road?
art fair or something? And Tiffany was there with the guy that was like her husband.
Yes, this was June
Riley's
19th. Mm-hmm.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
But we have got ourselves a baby. It is a concerningly confusing story because echoing Jake, echoing every single fucking person who watched this show, one, didn't think that they would ever touch each other in that way. But two, and I don't want to be ageist or anything, but how did they get pregnant the one time they had sex? I mean, there must be some stars of fertility aligning for these two. And it gets even more confusing with Riley saying that he can't do it anymore. He has like a surgical spermicide. Yeah.
Let me offer this with a tinfoil cap. Perhaps she's not pregnant. Yeah, she's lying.
I think that's the likely outcome of the likely truth here.
Yeah. She's not pregnant, guys. He's 48. She's 43. He takes a medication that gives him less than 1% of sperm.
Right.
So unless she was like hitting those ovulation sticks and knew that was the one time and then went in and just went for it, I don't think so.
Yeah. She had a vaginal thermometer.
I also, like, what is she doing too? Like, I don't think she's pregnant, but what is this?
Yeah.
It's like, do you think we're not going to find out that you're lying?
Well, Tiffany is wondering if she's just doing this for the green card. And Riley says, I don't think that's it. And he then says, I'm not sure if I was the only man she was seeing. And again, unanimity in everyone watching. We know the answers to both of those questions.
Well, here's the other part, because it gets a little deeper. He starts talking about the conversations he's had about the upbringing of the child or the pregnancy. He mentions at one point he requests that the baby listen to classical music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, but also, I guess it's a little bit confusing, though, because she doesn't seem, maybe it's American hubris, she doesn't seem like she wants to leave Vietnam. She seems like she's completely fine there with her harem of men, you know?
Shirtless men.
Yeah.
I think that's part of Riley's concern and why he's sweating so fucking profusely throughout
Yeah,
this entire scene, which was the most disturbing part. It was so hard to focus.
He's so sweaty. He's so sweaty.
My God, it was vile. Yeah, I think that he's seeing his life flash before him and he's like, I am almost 50 years old and now I'm gonna have to be traveling to Vietnam for this fucking kid. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. And
right.
I have to sweat now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's an interesting, when I watched the trailer.
Yeah, it was interesting about the prenatal doctor. He was like, I found a prenatal doctor at this international hospital. And I said, I'll pay for this doctor. Go ahead and go over there and get this care. And she's like, no, I have my own doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Dr. Spachemin.
All right, so watching the trailer for the reunion next week, I did not see a clip with her in it.
No, that she's on Zoom.
She was? She was in the background?
Yeah, they flat out ask her if she's pregnant. She's like,
She's bawling, crying.
yeah, and then she says something like, "In my country, we don't ask those questions. we don't talk about the past with that kind of questioning."
Okay.
But do we think these two? Oh, Rubes, yeah, what's up?
I was just going to say, if she misreads American culture and decides to like try to miscarry this and fake get that sympathy card, she is going to get fucking dragged.
Oh my God.
It's just going to be exciting to watch. Do I think there is any chance these two make it? I think that I will join the WNBA first. It's more likely. So no, I don't.
Well, you're tall.
Very bad at basketball, though. So.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I will join the WNBA before these two get together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more likely that Riley's dog stands up on two legs and stabs him with one of those cigars he's been killing him with for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Than these two ever being a couple.
Yep. So that's 2 for 2 no for these podcasters.
It's a no.
MP, who do we got next?
All right, we'll go to Amanda and Rosman. And I would love to know, you guys, being dudes that you are, your opinion on this turn of events with Amanda all of a sudden getting nice.
Yeah, she is a Black Widow. I think that she is emotionally abusive to him when the cameras are off, and then throws sex and cuddles at him when the tallies are on, and it scares me. She is a cold operator, I think, and I can't get a read on him. I think there is a side of him where he wants to be famous. Obviously, he's doing the yum, give me a banana on TikTok and whatnot, but I think that he's kind of possibly sweet. I mean, he's a porn star, but I think that he's possibly sweet, and he is in a thick fucking web right now.
All right, y'all. I don't know where you live, but summer is almost over, and I'm heading into fall. I'm thinking about fall. I'm thinking about trips and things I have coming up in the fall, and I want to look great, and I want to look like fashion-y, but I don't have that bougie budget. You know what I mean? Quince is my spot for quiet luxury without those luxury prices. Quince offers a range of must-have items like 100% European linen and luxurious mulberry silk shirts, and of course the Italian leather, the 14 karat gold jewelry, and I've already told you about the cashmere. Like I've told you about the cashmere. All of their prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And like I told you, at the bottom of each item, they have that little chart that'll tell you like, hey, have you seen this dress at so-and-so? Yeah, you have. And here's the exact same dress for 50 to 80% less. I'm telling you guys, I have bought several cashmere sweaters. Am I proud of buying more than one cashmere sweater? I mean, Yes, I am, because I got a great deal on them. I bought a adorable cashmere sweater for my son with some really nice pants that he just wore this weekend when we went to a concert together. You guys, the whole family is on Quince. Yes, they are sponsoring us and they gave us some stuff. But since then, I have reordered 4 times. 4 times on my own using the code Pink Shade, of course. So you guys are wondering how they do it. Quince partners directly with top factories to cut out the cost of the middleman, and they pass the savings on to you. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium eco-friendly fabrics and finishes. So I feel good about getting these super high quality items that last longer. What you're going to do to upgrade your closet this fall with Quince right now, go to quince.com/pinkshade. You're going to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. Guys, did you hear me? 365-day returns on your next order. That's quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping and a 365-day return. Quince.com/pinkshade. I think he's very sweet, and I think he doesn't understand that if he moves to Eunice, Louisiana, he's not furthering his acting career there in Eunice, Louisiana. Not even a suburb of New Orleans.
They shoot a lot there, but you can't just walk onto the production and then get hired that way. You have to be in one of the hubs and then go there.
MP, all right, first off, we've done a lot of recaps with MP, and she very often takes sides of, I think, questionable characters. Famously on Love After Lockup, you loved Michael, okay? Michael is
Michael,
a jerk.
MP, you are so wrong. You are so wrong.
That's good.
All right. This Romanian porn star, do you think for 1 second he has the intentions of fucking showing up to Thanksgiving dinner with a heart and carving a turkey and being a father figure for Jason's kids?
I kind of do.
No fucking way. He's an opportunist. And by the way, once she started being mean to him, I think he loved it, and he's like, this is my out. Boom, this is my out. I got on TV. The viewers aren't going to think I'm a dick when this doesn't work out because I have something I can blame.
Ruby, can you break the tie that isn't a tie because we all think Patrick's wrong?
Yeah. Patrick, you're wrong. We are right. And Michael from Love After Lockup does look good. So I also think that Razvan is like one of those people who he just kind of needs to be guided a little bit more. And like if he were actually with a woman who wasn't a Loch Ness monster dementor, like she's so deeply manipulative and emotionally fucked. I really dislike her strongly.
She's been through a lot.
Yeah, that's it. What, Dom?
She's been through a lot.
Yeah, but that we circle back to there are a lot of people who have been through a lot and they don't do this to other human beings. And again, those human beings are her children, not Rosman.
Right.
So that's another like, ooh, you have kids. So
all right, let me throw this for a second. Okay. And I agree with you about Amanda with a few things. One is, what is Jason's family thinking about this? She's a pretty selfish person. I've said, MP, that what she's doing over here, she should have just done in the next town over from where she lives. Go have sex with the door guy or the bartender, right? Have a romp there. Don't fly across the country for 3 weeks when your kids are still kind of questioning, like, where's dad? And, mourning. And then you also have his family, Jason's family. I think it's disrespectful to go on a reality TV show and kind of throw this in front of the cameras. And I'll get off my...
it's a big, bad casserole. But we've been talking a lot, MP.
I think that's what she realized when she got there, was like, oh, this is being filmed. So any affection or anything I show to this guy, wow, I'm going to look really bad. I think she just kind of got swept up in it. But once she got there, it was actually with him in person. That's why she was so cold to him, because she was like, oh my God, people are going to see this. Like my husband died 4 months ago or whatever. So she says that her being so closed off has really affected their relationship. So she wants to show him her softer side. She wants to show that she could be a loving partner and be open. Mm-hmm. So she gets him a heart pillow and a blanket. So when he goes to bed at night, he can snuggle it and think of her. She does a lot of what I think Jake says, like a little schoolgirl, like like laughs and tries to be
always
coquettish.
A red flag.
Yeah.
Always
a
red
bit
flag.
like this is a stuffed animal to think about me when I'm gone.
Her soft side is like a marshmallow with a razor blade in the middle, you know?
Yeah. 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 And Rasmus says, his heart is telling him that he loves her, but his brain knows that it's toxic and they're probably not good for each other. And my thing is, her roots are so tragic that I really can't look at anything else other than the white line of her roots. She should have brought some of that Joe Gorga hairspray to Romania because her hair has started to grow out because she's been there for 3 weeks. And her part looks like it's 4 inches wide, but it's just because it's gray.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine. You could be prematurely gray and dye your hair black, but you've never seen somebody pet their own hair, stroke, straighten, brush, pet their own hair as much as she does. And she didn't even bring any Joe Gorga hair dye for that part.
No, it's revolting.
It's upsetting.
It's really upsetting. And one of my favorite things about them as a couple is when she gets that aggressive side part, like basically gelled to her forehead when she perfectly swoops her bangs and then he grabs her head to kiss her and he messes it up completely and she gets enraged. I love when he does that.
Oh, so they go to this nice dinner and she is in an ice skater dress. I don't know. I was like, what are you wearing?
Oh, that's
sequined gown.
That's her thing. Oh, is this the sexy little number that she's got, the short one?
She's like Nancy Kerrigan, man.
Yeah, like, this is again the seduction, the cuddles, the marshmallows, the razor blades. Yeah. It's all bad.
Also a romantic dinner at a restaurant called Restaurant.
Well, you want to make sure you know where you're going.
Yeah.
So they sit down and she says, so do you still want to be in a relationship or not? And he says, our relationship is, well, see, I love you so much, but you're my worst enemy. And I'm scared things will work out and not change. And she goes, things will change. And we're both willing to change. And it's difficult for me to talk about how I feel. So I got you a card because I can write things down. So he reads the card, which says, you are my soulmate and my protector. You are my one true love. I will do anything for you and for us. And I'm sorry for everything I've done. Again, Jason's family, seeing her say, you are my one true love.
Gross.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's really, really bad.
It's bad. So he's like, I didn't know you had it in you to be romantic and I love you. I want to make it work. So she's happy because he's agreed, to try to make it work and not ditch her, which is really what she deserves. And he says, I want to believe that she's back to that Amanda that I met. And so she's like, great. So here's what I want you to do. Now, he has already said he was going to come in like 2 weeks, but that's why she's not controlling it. So she's like, so new plan. You're going to do what I say.
Yeah.
You want to continue and you already have your visa. So I think that the time to come is not in 2 weeks, but the time to come is Thanksgiving to celebrate this holiday you know nothing about. And then she's like, will you miss my hugs? Will you miss my kisses? Will you miss those other things I do? And then he says, will you miss Billy? You know Billy. He's a big boy. You guys.
Did you hear that,
Too
MP?
much for me. Too much.
MP, did you hear that thud? That's Jason's family jumping off a building. Yeah. How goddamn disrespectful. Okay, the other thing, Thanksgiving, it's nothing in Romania, right? It has no symbolicism or whatever the hell there. But in America, it's a big deal with families. Can you imagine, I don't know what her oldest kid is. He's like, hey, Mom, who's the fucking porn star?
Yeah.
Who's the guy carving the turkey? Oh, that's Mommy's friend.
Why doesn't he have his shirt on and why is he basting himself too?
And why is he sitting in Daddy's box's seat? Why did he move Daddy's box?
It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
You guys.
It's bad.
So this is the next day where they're leaving. And this is a big problem that we have here on the podcast is when people are flying across the world in their very tight blue jeans. No.
Oh, yeah.
No. You're flying for like 18 hours. Why are you in your skinny jeans, girl? That is a yeast infection waiting to happen. Like put on some sweatpants. No. Put on some breathable fabric. So
but it has to be long
like,
though.
Last night is so amazing and we're so connected. And then he finds the panties on the ground. It was like, ooh, these are you guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Grow out of that when you're 25.
He's happy he's going to get to see that turkey for Thanksgiving. Let's remember when this is being filmed, it's August. So he's not going to see her till November.
Right. And this was filmed last year. They're definitely going to be on another season. If they
think?
I think so. It'd be kind of fun to see him carving that turkey.
I'll be interested. I'm just getting over him basing himself with the
Yeah.
yeah.
It's only when it cools
So
down, though.
they say goodbye at the airport. She's like a robot. She goes, "I will miss you. Next time we see each other is when you will meet my kids too. I want you to know that I love you. Goodbye."
Yeah. She is horrifying. Yeah. She is of iRobot kind of nightmares. But yeah, just quickly getting back, and I don't know if anybody needs to hear this, but it's you do need to wear something with length when you're traveling. I think. I mean, I don't necessarily. I think it's. You don't wear
not a tight blue jean.
No, but you don't wear you don't wear shorts though.
No, you wear sweatpants.
No, I'm thinking like a legging.
Right.
Like a legging.
You wear a legging, particularly for men. Just cover your legs.
Jeans.
Yeah,
on the airplane for 18 hours.
No, it's unrealistic.
Also, it's like a heeled boot. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
You know?
Not comfortable, girl.
Yeah. Whatever. And you're probably in a middle seat, Amanda.
Lace up Converse.
What are you expecting of this girl? She's just invited a Romanian porn star to her home for Thanksgiving. Well, she's not making good decisions.
We render a judgment on these two. I actually think that they are going to stay together. I think that Pat's TV couple thing rings very, very true for these two, especially for Amanda, who might be more into the lenses than Rosman is. So I think they're going to stay together.
I give it 50-50 chance.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm going to flip a coin for them.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. You two are really, it's kind of a cop-out from both of you.
I just like her a lot, so I feel I feel seen and heard.
You feel a kinship with MP?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I thought you meant Amanda, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh my god! Could you imagine?
Pat, yes or no?
TV couple for the next season of what's it called when they come the other? Is it the other way when he comes to America?
No, that's what they're on. The other way is when she moves there. So it'll either be 90 Day Fiance. The next one is 90 Day Fiance because this is before the 90, and then we have the 90.
90 Day Fiance.
So they would have to be on 90 Day Fiance. He would have to come over, and they're getting married.
I love this industry now of 90 Day that's taken over TLC. They have a whole trajectory for people. Well, first you show up on before the 90 Day. Then you're on 90 Day. Then you're going to do the other way. And then if it doesn't work out, you go on Singles Life. Right. And then you go to couples therapy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a meat packing line. It's really, really disgusting. So we move on to Christian and Cleo, who are my least favorite couple just because of how, we don't have a lot of confidence that any of these people are really going to be together and fall in love. But these two, there is, I don't see the point of filming these two for as long as we've filmed them. I think it's pretty exploitative because Cleo is who Cleo is. And I just don't think that there is fucking anything here.
Well, I'll do it. I'll do the honors then. All right, so we wake up the next morning. Obviously, Cleo's pretty upset. She's been crying, and this was the night after he basically kind of professed his emotions to her and kind of make her feel safe that the relationship wasn't ending.
Yeah.
Cleo's all, busted up. She asks if she can keep his sweatshirt for comfort.
Yeah. That's what girls do. That's what chicks do. They try to take your sweatshirt.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they leave earrings, too, in your dresser drawer. That didn't work out for me a couple times. Anyway, while he's comforting...
What are you talking about?
Well, just like the girl that you're dating, she'll like, oh, I think I left an earring over at your place. And then they come over and they snoop around.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. MP, come on. This is a thing, right?
Or they leave it so that if another girl comes over, the other girl will see the earrings and be like, oh, he's already got a girl.
She knows what I'm throwing down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got you.
Well, anyway, as they're doing this, he then mentions to her that he met a girl that morning at the coffee shop and wants to know if she can come along for the ride to the airport. Because that's what he does. That's what he does.
Honestly, I understand her being upset about him being the life of the party. And it is gross when he, quote unquote, just has friendly conversations with other women. But dare I say, Cleo and her emotional support friend Jane have gotten me on Christian's side at this point. I'm like, you guys need to shut the fuck up or move on, because I can't have this cosplay argument over and over and over again with you two. It's sickening. And Jane, find meaning somewhere else. Why are you always on call to have, interventions with Christian? Just fucking read a book. Get out of here.
Well, Cleo.
Okay. Jane wasn't on this episode, so why are you so mad at Jane?
Because Jane's been too present. She's always, we've seen her 3, 4, 5, 17 times. She's always there.
She's like the bat phone. She picks up the phone every time Batman or the Commissioner Gordon calls.
Yeah, but she doesn't fly over building tops. She just walks slowly through the streets and then arrives there.
Well, Cleo discusses having some regrets, the issues with him inviting strange girls to Thanksgiving. Maybe she didn't handle that well. And according to Christian, I love this, relationships are like cars. They get banged up a bit, but you don't always total them. You can repair them.
He's really insightful.
It's deep.
And then he notes
he is awful. He's
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know, I have no children, but if you, God forbid, this person was brought into your home as your daughter's boyfriend, I don't know what you do. I guess you kill yourself as a parent because you fucked up so badly that she would ever allow him to be around her.
Yeah, he has one of these.
You wait it out. I'm telling you, as a parent of a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, you wait it out.
But
you can't say anything. You just have to let Christian hang himself and your child figure it out. Sorry, Cleo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the unique thing about Christian is that sometimes you don't really realize that they're a bad fit for you or your children or whatever. But with Christian, it's an instantaneous ick. He has this Eddie Haskell kind of slime to him that does not work at all because he's a balding ginger with a drinking problem. So there's nothing like charming about him, but he tries to do the charming thing. And it's like, you have magician energy. It's gross.
But bad. Like not a cool one, like the bad ones that do bad card tricks. And when he was saying bye to her and he was like, you got to get on the plane and get in my car and you got to go get out of here, honey. I was like, this couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
Get in that car and I don't come back.
She's so busted up about their, time together ending. And he could not give a shit.
He did make sense with one thing, though. She said, can't we just kind of put the things that didn't work out between us in the past? And he points out, you got to remember some of the issues so that you can fix them. I think that's a fair point. Yeah. But yes, once they part ways, Christian, when he has us alone and just the camera and the production, he says, I don't know if this is going to work out.
Yeah. MP, what do you think is so uniquely awful about Christian?
He's that guy that wants to be like, look at me, I'm the life of the party. I can do a keg stand. Look at me in my fun disco outfit. Hey, I've got a costume. And you're like, okay, we got it. You're here.
Yeah.
We see you. Everybody sees you.
Yeah.
He just is just so attention seeking. And someone pointed out, it may have been Jake, I can't remember, or maybe it was Kimberly. It was like, he only seeks this attention from women because he's intimidated by men. He's so insecure that he's always trying to get this attention from women. That's why he's like approaching 20-year-olds on the airplane and they like press their call button, like, get away from me, weirdo.
Right.
They've already cut you off on this airplane.
Yeah.
You're on an airplane. Like you're trying to pick up on the airplane.
Right.
Oh, he just bugs. He just bugs. And Cleo doesn't deserve him. No.
No.
Regarding that story, I love he felt completely comfortable sharing that airplane story.
Well, he blacked out. He didn't really remember it. He thought he was fucking crushing. So I think we're all giving this a black hole chance of not ever going to happen.
I don't even think they ever are in the same room again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the best part of this whole situation with the two of them on this episode was Cleo strapping a box with 2 cats to her chest as she departed the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Anybody gonna mention that?
Thank you so much for bringing that up because that was important to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
It just was. All right, should we get to the Holy Land?
Nicola!
Oh, Misha. So Misha is going back to America tomorrow. So they're walking around this market. And once again, she is in a business casual get up. This girl is never not in a sheath dress with a zip straight up the back, form fitting, ready to do the news and the weather at any minute.
Yeah.
Always ready. If there's a weather report, she's there.
Yeah.
She's ready.
100%.
Good morning, St. Paul.
Yeah.
So true. Oh my God. She was changing in a car. She was so ready. Oh my God.
Yeah. She's ready. So he says, sweetie pie, Misha, I'm going to tell you something very important. You know, I love you a lot, Misha, and we know each other for many years. I want to tell you something. I'm asking you, Misha, do you want to marry me? I was waiting for a woman like you, Misha. I don't have a ring, but we'll go buy one now. Are you saying yes? Are you saying no, Misha? Misha? She's like, right here? Oh my God. Then she tells him like she's yes, and she's so excited. He it's a public display of affection. He's the guy who hid this woman so far out of his league from his family for 7 years. I mean, this is not a guy making good decisions. I mean,
no.
So they go to this jewelry store and he's like, I'm romantic, Misha. Let's go, Misha, into the store. So they go in and he tells the guy, he's like, I didn't want to buy her a ring because she's picky and I didn't know if she would like it or not like it. So I want Misha to pick out whatever she wants. And the guy says, well, okay, I need to start with your budget. He goes, whatever she wants, and let's go from there.
Yeah.
All right. So he goes, all right. So he says, I'm blessed by God. You know what? So he tells the jeweler, they're looking at a ring and looking at a ring. And Ruby will agree with me on this. She says more than once, well, this is simple. This is cute. Simple. It's adorable. It's cute. It's cute. I was like, she doesn't like that ring. It's tiny. It's for a toddler. So
well, can we?
He says, the jeweler, he goes, this is the one Misha wants. This is the one Misha will get. How much is it, Mr. Jeweler? I'm sure it's very inexpensive. And he says it's $1,938. And he goes, oh, too far from my budget. And the jeweler says, one of a kind and no child labor.
Right. Well, this is how Israelis buy anything. They do. This is a banana. But really quickly, this is a loud kind of dare kind of public service announcement.
Oh,
you have to have sex before the age of 50, because if you don't, you develop what is kind of almost a social disorder, because this is patently fucking insane that he proposed to her without a ring, then brought her to the jeweler, then haggled for the ring she didn't want in front of her. He's unaware of just how drying this entire thing is.
Let's break down the full game film. The romantic location he chose for this proposal,
a wet alley,
was a street that had feral cats running around and a merchant selling parakeets. Okay. Strike one. Next, no ring. Then he goes in, as you pointed out, MP, barters with said ring merchant. And the good news is he got him down to the price he wanted. The bad news is Misha's vagina thinks he's an asshole.
Right.
I mean, strike two.
Yeah. Did you like that one, MP?
I didn't. So he gets it down to 1,228. So he got a pretty good deal on it.
Yeah.
No child labor. Again, pointed out, no children were harmed in the making of this ring.
And he's lying.
Yeah. Anisha says, it's nice. On the one hand, he wanted me to be involved in the picking out of the ring. It's really nice. But on the other hand, he keeps talking about money. It's just not hot. So she makes him propose again with that cute, adorable, cheap ass ring. And then Misha reminds us they had this distance and the annulment standing between them, but only God is going to help them with the next step. So the next day they're at a hotel. They're a much nicer hotel than they were last time. I only saw one bed, I might add.
I was going to say also, are we sleeping in the same bed now? Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
That would be a sin, Misha.
That would be a sin, Misha.
So she says, I can't even apply for the K-1 visa for Nicola because I don't have an annulment. Well, that's not true. You're divorced, so you can apply. It's going to take a year. Go ahead and apply.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be like lying.
Right. The bureaucratic rigmarole of the State Department is not concerned with religious annulments. That's not part of their stamping process.
You're currently not married. You can apply for this K1 visa. So in the car, she says, Nicola, stop smelling your armpits. It's disgusting. So when you come to the US, we're going to have a proper engagement celebration. And what you should do is go ahead and get the tourist visa while we wait for the annulment before we can get the K1, which is so fucking stupid. Just apply for the K1. It takes forever. And she goes, and then you could come for a couple of months and we could really see how I live and everything. And he goes, Misha, I will not. Misha, I will only come for a week or two, because being in the house together for months, that's opening the door for the devil, Misha. The devil hates you and the devil hates me. Do you want to be sinning, Misha? Is that what you want, Misha?
This guy is fucking awful.
Can I point out some? All right, on the drive to the airport, okay, it's a little thing called a tell. Do you see the steering wheel on that hunk of junk? It looked like termites ate it off.
Yeah.
For $5, you can buy a steering wheel cover.
Frustration with him picking the the steering wheel apart.
Yeah.
It's concerning because that tell is he's probably got a belly button that hasn't been cleaned in 22 years. Has she seen his bathroom yet? I mean, there's a lot of questions here with this character.
He lives like a cave troll. Go ahead, Ribs.
I was going to say, when she says, are you smelling your armpits again? And then she asks him to stop with such disdain. And for a moment gets bitchy when she's like, I'm going to double down. And she goes, ew. And I was like, yes, break him. But he's literally oblivious. And he's like, Misha, I will not come to America. We will sin. No, Misha, I will see you in 9 months when we get he's an awful, and when he proposes in the wet alley where COVID started, and he's like, Misha, who do you know that is this romantic, Misha? Nobody that you know. And she's like, well, practically everyone does this.
Right.
I was like,
every single person I've ever met. But also, I can't wait for the reunion where he tells the moderator, the dais, and everybody watching that it's okay to be chauvinistic because the Bible places men above women. So, he's a traditionalist. What can you say? You know,
they're together though. There was a sighting of them at a grocery store recently
in Minnesota.
States, right?
Misha is fucking.
They were in the Mall of America. They were in the Mall.
To be seen, I assume.
That's where they were.
Sorry,
that's where they were. Yeah. How dare you? Sinning. They were sinning in that Mall of America. They were probably riding that carousel and sinful shopping and lusting for
Wetzel's
things.
pretzels.
You sure the devil wants us to come?
Well, what do we think? Are these two gonna make it? I don't understand the pathology of Misha. It's very confusing to me why she's so gorgeous. There are plenty of, I guess there are more waspy Protestants where she is, so she might not. I would imagine there are handsome, wealthy Catholic men who are not gremlins who hate women. They probably don't like women, but not as much as Nico. What is going on with Misha? But with that being said, there is something wrong with her, so I think they're going to stay together.
I think they're birds of a feather flock together. I think she found her one true love on the internet. Our main concern about Nicola and his basement dwelling with his mom, he wasn't monetizing that website. He's like, I get 1 million hits in a weekend on my website. And I was like, but yet you're broke. You're not that was her whole thing. He's like, he's got a non-monetized website. He lives in his mom's basement. But I did think it was interesting at sort of the end of their segment, when they're saying goodbye at the airport. I'll pray for you, Misha. You know, I will come when I get there and blah, 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 all that. And I'm the man. And she says, she puts on her glasses, and is like, I'm going to read you a verse from the Bible.
Oh.
Her Bible. It says, it's from 1 Corinthians. And she starts in on love is patient, love is kind, love does not. I was like, have you ever been to a wedding in the last 50 years? Obviously, we know this Bible verse.
Right.
This is not like breaking news, like you just came up with something real crazy, like in Exodus or something that nobody had heard of.
As far as Bible verses go,
we got it.
As far as Bible verses go, I mean, it is such a beautiful verse. It's so gorgeous. I love that Bible verse, particularly because of the film Waves, I think. Yeah.
I'm cynical. I think this was a play for her to get her career back on track. I think she wants to be on Fox News or whatever.
The Marine layer will burn off it too, and no, I am not with that gremlin from Israel.
She'd be great.
He is so unattractive. It's one thing that she's sort of pretty smoking hot and sort of a, apologies to LA and sort of a LA cookie cutter kind of a way.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. She is beautiful, but she has had quite a bit of work done, and that's fine. Do what you need to do. She looks great. But he looks like a braying donkey. That's what he looks like. He's so unattractive. But there's no way that when she saw him in person, she was like, oh yeah, this is the guy that I saw that I love. There's no way.
I'm hopped up on donkey.
And then everything that she likes to do, like drink and smoke a cigarette once a year, he's like, oh, Misha, the devil you are going. Misha, this is sin. What about him? He's a poor, awful human being who's mean to you.
Yeah.
And you are very eligible. I don't get her mental state of mind.
Don't forget he eats fish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's weird.
Well, got a lot of omega-3s. So what do you think? Are they going to be together?
Hell no. But I think they'll be on another version of this show, definitely.
Rubes?
Same. I agree with Pat.
MP?
I 100% they're together. Forever.
All right, let's end with a hell of a fireworks show.
Oh man,
always.
Our dear frowny face and our dear Yasmin. Let's keep our feet warm, okay? Gino is putting on wool socks, and he's also got on a very, very confusing shirt, which is an athleisure shirt that makes him look like he's wearing overalls. This man is. Oh, and also he has a hat on too.
Oh, what?
He is freaking out. He has very jittery energy, and he's doing that thing where a lot of people do it, but no, not that. When he does this specific thing, which again, a lot of people do, it makes me it gives me like a kind of a butthole cramp. It makes me sick. Just laughter. When he laughs, I want to cry and run away from the screen that I'm watching the show on. But cousin Dana is coming over for a little K1 celebration.
Now, Dill, I don't want to step on moving the show forward, but we do have to point out he has a special pillow that he sleeps with every night. Okay? Mm-hmm. And this pillow, it represents Jasmine. There's only one thing missing with this pillow that's Jasmine. This pillow doesn't tell him it's banging her ex when he's not there.
Yeah, and filming it.
Right. Yeah. So the pillow's not really Jasmine, you know? Sorry to interrupt.
No. It's important. Dana has really turned a corner because while once he was accusing Jasmine of being a gold-digging whore, he is now supportive of their relationship. And again, he is there to hang Panamanian flags. Now, Jazz is getting ready for her one chance at this K1, which I don't think she understands what the process is, but we'll talk about it. She is going to the embassy, and my feelings on the matter were that the hot pink Barbie Hillary Clinton Barbie pantsuit thing and a camera crew, which didn't follow her inside, but those things and just how she behaves towards everyone are all things that are not going to aid her in good news in this activity here.
True. I'd like to address her apartment. Did you notice when she was getting ready with her mom and her sister Zuellen?
Yeah.
That they were in a much smaller, not $3,000 a month apartment, a much smaller apartment. And who knows what happened to her sister/daughter Liz? Right. I don't know what they did with Liz.
Right.
But Liz didn't live there anymore. But what did you think about her sister literally talking about how Jasmine is the light and the love of the family and how what would they do without her? She's the glue. She's everything to them.
Oh, also, that Gino is a yucky dork who's not good enough for her.
He said he's the man you chose, so we hope it works out. But
I have thoughts on this, MP. When I've dated people and I realize they hate their entire family and have no connection with them, red flag goes up for me. Like, all right, what's going on here. The fact that her mother and her two sisters adore her, I think kind of speaks well for Jasmine. Also, forgive me if this sounds a bit misogynistic. I loved that she got rid of the gold digger makeup and into the au natural. She is a gorgeous girl. Like I was just, wow, is she pretty? Why is she do that to herself?
Ruby, can you take over? Can you say things? Because
I agree.
You called people on the show mentally ill.
But I do think that someone missed the mark here when explaining to her what this interview is, because you don't do that. Everything she did will land you in a hot pink suit on the side of the road in dirt, sobbing, screaming to take down flags. And that's exactly where she ended up. And that she unintentionally, like you guys said, not Patrick, just MP. They weren't planning on recording these two, and she didn't know that she was going to give us the best thing that she's ever given us. And she screamed about Disneyland and Legoland, and you took your wife. This was unbelievable. And I've never really liked them as a couple, and I am more invested in them now than I have ever been before.
Yeah. Well, Gino,
what's y'all's problem with the pink suit? I thought the pink suit and the heels, and her top was all the way up to here. There was no cleavage, and she had a conservative pin. I thought she looked business lady doing business things with my folder.
I agree with you, Ed.
Yeah,
I think it's too loud for a government process. I think people behind those kind of
get a navy.
Yeah, I think people who had to show up at that embassy and have to stamp things and tell people they have to use the right colored ink, I don't think they want to see a flamingo.
I do want to point out one thing. One reason this didn't go through is Gino clearly fucked up. There wasn't an interview scheduled. I don't know who sent her an email or who alerted her to go show up to an interview, because there was never one scheduled. There was a paper processing fuck up.
Right. Well, after the nightmarish day at the embassy, Gino gets a FaceTime call. And we are hit with frownies immediately, because he can see that Jazz is despondent, and that causes him to frown. MP, is the frowning as concerning to you as it is to us? Because it seems like he has more facial muscles than the average person, I think, because his frowns are just more pronounced than most.
Well, I think it's more shocking when you see him smile, right? That's what's upsetting.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot on these shows. Like, it's sort of like Amanda, when she would laugh and put her hands in front of her face, people say, oh, maybe she's got like problematic teeth, which I'm very into teeth and I don't see it. I think for her, she's so shocked that her face is laughing. Oh, what's this? And I think with Gino, he's always frowning. So it's more shocking to him if he laughs, because he was ready. He had a smile on his face when he answered that call with the flags. And then she's just, oh, Gino. I mean, first I thought, well, she's joking. She's doing like that joke thing where she's kidding. And they're like, just kidding. But no, she had like you said, a full breakdown in the dirt on the side of the road in a hot pink jumpsuit.
Here's a question I have that they don't answer these on the show, but they should. She could have a tourist visa where she could come visit him for 3 weeks any time of the year, rather than that $3,000 a month apartment building, right? But they never do it. She waits. Oh, I don't know if we pointed this out at the top of this. 6 months have passed since he left Panama, and that's where we're seeing this footage.
Well, but also she has a fundamental misunderstanding of what this entire process is supposed to look like. Like, Rubes, I think you mentioned it, but she says, I would rather have a no. Well, why would you rather have a no?
Than be told, like, I don't know, because he was like, wait a second. So they took your paperwork? She's like, yes, Gino, move away from the flags, Gino. And so they took your paperwork and then told you what? And she was like, I don't know. I can't figure out what I forgot, Gino. And he's like, okay, goodbye, crazy pants. Yeah. She's just like, I don't want to see your face anymore, Gino, goodbye. Poor cousin Dana is hiding in the kitchen like, this is what I'm going to be fucking dealing with. When he is hiding in the kitchen. Because when Gino's swinging that phone around trying to not get any Panamanian flags in the background, you see Dana just hit the deck. He's like, don't let her look directly at me.
Well, and Dana could trigger her into more violent, behavior. But, Rubes, why do we think that she's on the side of the road? Because I didn't understand why she was on the side of a road.
I think she literally ran out of the embassy like after they were like, ma'am, you don't have an appointment. And she was like, yes, I do. And they were like, this is like a security risk. And she was like, don't touch me. And then in a huff, because you can tell production had to like, oh, get the fucking cameras up. Like, I don't think it was planned. I think she ran out of the embassy.
Yeah, she's in a ditch on the side of the road in a hot pink pantsuit, screaming and crying, and that is where we leave everybody, I think.
In the ditch.
I do want to go over the little snips that we got for the tell-all with the live studio audience.
Yeah.
So first we see Amanda. They're talking to Amanda, who's thank God has fixed her part. She says, some of the other castmates here are toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
And the producer goes, who, you? They're like, what? And she goes, self-explanatory. Then we see Rosvan in a full mesh shirt, like nipples out, full mesh shirt. That's not appropriate. And addressing Christian and saying to Christian, why are you in bars talking to other girls? And Christian says, I was doing nothing wrong. Like, I'm not, why would I try and go hook up? Like, I've got this girl here. And Cleo says, there were a lot of boundaries that you crossed. And then you even see Riley going, Christian.
Yeah. Hey, Riley. Shut up.
Yeah, Riley, you got a girl pregnant with 1% sperm count. So Gino then says to Jasmine, so why did you talk about how bad our sex was to your ex? And she goes, sometimes you just need a man's perspective. And then Sean says, is there a sex video with you and Dane? And she's like, well, the thing is that no, So then we see Nicola say what you guys said earlier. The man is the head of the house. That's in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then Misha's daughter was like, that's a no from us. And we don't want to be trapped in our own home with Bible Ben.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
The
Bible
Statler,
says a
who's
lot
got her
of
hair
stuff.
pulled in a real conservative business lady bun.
Yeah.
Which was
weird.
Very strange. Very weird. Like, she was off to a business meeting. She says to Misha's daughter, he's going to come in and judge the hell out of you. Please. To Misha, there are other fish in the sea. Which I love when they get into each other's shit, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
Then they tell Tyree, who poor Tyree was like, remember me, Tyree?
Yeah.
They tell Tyree
standing
that
in
they
a
found
park.
the second phone number for Carmela, which is Christian.
Yeah. And we have him answer the phone.
What I find interesting, and it's happened in all 90-day reunions, these people who have never met somehow find a way to despise and hate each other and go after each other during these reunions.
Yeah.
It's an odd use of time.
I think they're told, jump in,
right, and also get the heat off me.
The last thing we see is Jasmine. Jasmine says to Riley, "Do you think Violet would lie about having a child just to manipulate you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And that's when Sean asked Violet, "Now, Violet, we need to know if you're pregnant." And everybody goes, "Oh," but she does kind of a cry face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a 3-parter, or they should just wrap this up in one? Make it really juicy and just do it in 2 hours, for the love of God.
Okay. So the last episode is October 1st. So no, it's 3 parts.
It's 3 parts.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
No, it's
Totally
two.
It's 2 because we'll have it on the 24th and the 1st. Yeah, it's 2 parts.
All right. Well, everybody buckle up for 4 hours of that. And everyone go listen. Well, first, follow Ruby at Papaya Dog Girl on TikTok. First and foremost.
I'm doing it right now.
And MP, you will plug all of the things that you have going on much better than I. So please, will you tell everybody what is happening in the world of Pink Shade?
Yes, on Pink Shade, we are covering this show before the 90, and we're covering, of course, the new season of Love After Lockup just started. Chef's kiss. Genius. Love it. Thursdays, we cover Bravo shows, just sort of what's on, what we feel like talking about. Probably this week, we'll talk about Southern Charm, Salt Lake, New York, just depending on what's the hot gossip. We're going to talk about Shannon Medora's DUI. We'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Then over on the Supercast and Patreon, we are covering The Other Way. We are covering Welcome to Plathville and 90 Day UK.
I don't
not the last
know how
not the last resort.
You do it. If you haven't left a review, go over and do that. Leave 5 stars. Tell MP we sent you. Rubes, love you. MP, love you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Can you tell my listeners where we can find out more about Bad TV?
Do you want to?
I'd like to have a little plug. Yeah.
Sure. Will this one be cut in?
No. We'll just say at the top, Bad TV is a great podcast. Bad TV is a lovely podcast. And it's a show where we talk about lots of different reality television.
Well, we're going to do The Golden Bachelor. That's going to be exciting. You're going to get a little sample of Love is Blind, the new season 5 of Love is Blind. And we have a back catalog of all the flavor of loves.
Marvelous television program.
Marvelous television. And also on Bad TV, if you're a fan of Below Deck, you will see our weekly recaps of Below Deck and some other good stuff coming up, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
Show up for The Golden Bachelor. If you're into The Bachelor, I think it's going to be a really fun season.
Me and Pat are really excited to break that down. And do follow Ruby at Papaya.Girl on TikTok.
Will do.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, MP. We always love chatting with you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Adios.
Adios.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.